Here's a quick introduction to adding materials in Schoology. So I have a class here where I have no materials that I've added at all. And if I click on add materials, it pops up all of these different options here. I can add a folder, I can make an assignment, a test or a quiz, a file, a discussion, and you can talk about these in your departments or explore some of these on your own. I'm just going to show you a couple to get started with. The first one I want to show you is how to add a folder. Pretty basic. Click add folder. If you want to customize the color, you can do that. If you want to type in a description, here's all the information about design theory. I should probably title it Design Theory. And if you wanted it to only be available for a certain period of time, you can add that in. I always make my folders available for the entire semester because we might go back and reference things. But there are some times that I don't want it published right away. I don't want to clutter their feed just yet. And so sometimes I will create some content and leave it as unpublished, but you can make that decision. And so then I'm going to click create. And now I have this folder so that when I find things for design theory or make assignments, I can just go straight into this folder. Now here's what's kind of nice. So if I click this folder, so the default is always this side arrow is pointing to the right. If I click that so that it's down, and if I hover right underneath it, it pops up this green line, and I can add anything right inside that folder. So I want to add a link. So I'm going to click on this. And I could add a file, a link, external tool. I want to add a link, and the link I want to add is this website right here from Adobe. And so I'm going to copy it, paste it here, and call it Color Wheel Options. Now, for this particular website, I do not want it to display in Schoology. When you go down to options, you do have the option to individually assign. And so if you have students that you're working with, house students, students with different needs, 504s, IEPs, you can totally assign things that only that student will see. But my issue with some of the links is that I don't like the way they display in Schoology. Now, sometimes teachers that use iPads, you want to lock them into the app using the Apple Classroom app. And so if that's the case, then you want to make sure that it's display in Schoology. But for the purposes of this, I do not want it. I want it to display in a new window. And if I was in if I had two sections of desktop, I could copy it to courses. If I click on this, you can see all the different options I have. I don't have another desktop class this semester, so I'm not going to do that. So I don't really need to copy to a course. And so I'm going to click add. And that color wheel option, if I click that side, it landed right there inside that folder, which is kind of nice if you're concerned about organization. Anything else that I want to add, if I wanted to add something different, I could go up above it, I could go down below it, I could just use the add materials option here. So you have a lot of different options about how to add materials. I am going to do a separate video, because I don't like these to be too long, on how to add materials from archived courses. So be on the lookout for that in that Schoology folder in our Bellevue West Schoology group.